morning, welcome to our video presentation for the value creation course. In this video, we will present our critical journal review. The title of the journal is Effects of Competence-Based Sustainable Entrepreneurship Education on Secondary School Student Sustainable Entrepreneurial Intention, written by DeVolder, Huer, and Weitzel, and published in 2025 in the journal Sustainable Technology and Entrepreneurship. The journal talks about how education can help young students want to become sustainable entrepreneur in the future. This presentation is delivered by our group members Maria Masriana Lodan, Jessica Siite, Johanna Mulyati Muning, and Nur Kopipa. Before we start, let's ask you the agenda for this presentation so you know what we will cover.
Next agenda. In this slide, we want to give you a short overview of what we are going to talk about today. First, we will explain the background and the problem of this research, why the topic of sustainable entrepreneurial intention is important. Second, we will explain the theoretical framework, which is the theory of planned behavior, along with the four hypotheses of this study. Third, we will explain the method, including the experimental design, the sample, and the measurement tools used. Fourth, we will share the results, which cover the effect on intention, role models, and gender. 5. We will decide what these findings mean for education and policy. And finally, we will close with the limitation of the study and the overall constellation. So there are 6 parts in total. Let's begin with the first one, the background and the problem of this study.
Okay, slide 3, background and problem. In this part, we want to explain why the researchers think this topic is important to study. The journal starts by talking about what they call the triple planetary crisis. This means 3 big environmental problems happening at the same time: climate change, loss of biodiversity, and environmental pollution. These 3 problems make it harder for the world to reach the Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. Because of this, we need entrepreneurs who can help solve these problems. The journal explains the sustainable entrepreneurs are important because they can turn these big sustainability challenges into new products, processes, or services that give value not only economically but also socially and environmentally. But why do the researchers focus on intention instead of directly studying entrepreneurial action? The journal explains that intention is actually the strongest and most reliable predictor of future behavior. In other words, if someone has a strong intention to become an entrepreneur, they are more likely to actually become one later. So, understanding how this intention forms in a person becomes very important for education. Then the research point out a research gap. Most of the previous studies about sustainable entrepreneurship education were were done with university students, and secondary school students were rarely studied. Also, earlier studies mostly used a cross-sectional design, which means the data was only collected on once. So it could not really prove a cause and effect relationship. That is why this study is different. The researchers used a controlled pre-post experimental design with secondary school students, so they could really test whether education caused change in intention. Now that we understand the background and the problems, let's move to the theoretical framework that guides this research.
Next, this slide explains the theory that is used as the foundation of the study, which is the theory of planned behaviors developed by Eisen. According to this theory, a person's intention to do something, in this case to become a sustainable entrepreneur, is shaped by three main factors. The first one is attitude, which means how positively or favorably someone feels about becoming a sustainable entrepreneur. The second one is subjective norm, which is about how much someone feels supported or approved by the people around them, like their friend and family. And the third one is passive behavior control, which is a person's belief in their own ability to actually succeed as a sustainable entrepreneur. The journal explains that these three factors together blending sustainable entrepreneurial interesting or SEI. The idea in this research is that the Axion program class E can test tighten belief, and this belief will affect the attitudes, subjective norm, and passive behavior control. When these three factors go up, the interest should go up too. The researchers also test the background factor determine after how strong this rise are, whether the students were exposed to a sustainable entrepreneur role model, and whether the student gender makes a difference. Based on this framework, the research built for hypotheses, which we will explain in the next slide.
Now, let's look at the four hypotheses that guide this study. Hypothesis 1 or H1 predicts that the Sustainable Entrepreneurship Education Program will significantly increase student Sustainable Entrepreneurial Intention Score. Hypothesis 2 H2 predicts that the education program will also significantly increase the three antecedents we just talked about: attitude, subjective norm, and perceived behavior control. Hypothesis 3 H3 predicts that where students are exposed to a real sustainable entrepreneur as a role model, their score will improve even more compared to students who did not have a role model in the program. And hypothesis 4 H4 predicts that the effect of this education program on intention and its antecedents will be consistent or the same for both male and female students. These four hypotheses become the base for the result that we will show you later. But before that, let's explain how the researchers actually conducted this study, the method.
Next, method design and sample. This slide explains how the research designed the study and who the participants were. The research used a controlled pre-post design. This means they measure the students' score before the program, called the pretest, and then again after the program, called the posttest, to make sure the result were really caused by the program and not just by time passing. They also use a waitlist control group. This group had to wait for 3 weeks before receiving the same program, so the research could compare and roll out other explanation. The intervention itself consisted of 6 lessons, each lasting 45 minutes, and it was delivered by a teacher who had been specially trained beforehand. There were also 2 versions of the program. One version called Intervention Ahead Neural Model. The other version, Intervention B, include guidance from a real sustainable entrepreneur as a role model during the last 90 minutes of the program. This study took place between April and May 2023 in Southern Germany. In total, there were 169 students coming from across 5 different schools from grade 7 to grade 10 with an average age of around 15 years old. In the experimental group, 146 students complete the pretest and 131 complete the posttest. In the waitlist control group, 42 students complete the pretest and 39 complete the posttest. The gender split was around 55% male, 43% female, and a small percentage identifying as diverse. To measure the variables, the research used a 14-item questionnaire with a 7-point Likert score, which was adapted from a well-known entrepreneurial intention questionnaire created by Linan and colleagues 2011. Now that we understand the method, let's move on the most important parts, the result.
Okay, slide 7. This slide shows the first set of results, which are about hypothesis 1 and hypothesis 2, whether the education program increased students' intention and its antecedents. The findings show that after the program, the scores for sustainably entrepreneurial intention, attitude, subjective norm, and perceived behavior control all increased significantly. When we look at the effect size, which show how strong the change is, sustainable entrepreneurial intention had an effect size of 0.45, which is considered medium to large. Attitude had 0.29, which is small. Subjective norm had 0.27, also small. And perceived behavioral control had 0.49, which is medium. Interestingly, the journal also mentions something about the waitlist control group. Before they received the program, while they were still waiting, their scores actually went down a little bit. The researchers think This might have happened because the students felt bored or less motivated to answer the same questionnaire again after 3 weeks of regular class. Since the topic was not covered yet, but one states what least group finally received the program, their scores also increased significantly, just like the experimental group. Based on all of this, both hypothesis 1 and hypothesis 2 are supported by the data. Next, look at what happened when role models were added to the program.
Next, this slide explains the theory that is used as the foundation of the study, which is the theory of planned behaviors developed by Eisen. According to this theory, a present intention to do something, in this case to become a sustainable entrepreneur, is shaped by three main factors. The first one is attitude, which means how positively or favorably someone feels about becoming a sustainable entrepreneur. The second one is subjective norm, which is about how much someone feels supported or approved by the people around them, like their friend and family. And the third one is perceived behavior control, which is a present belief in their own ability to actually succeed as a sustainable entrepreneur. The journal explained that these three factors together, blending sustainable entrepreneurial interesting or SEI. The idea in this research is that the Excellent program called SE can test tighten belief, and this test belief will affect the attitudes, subjective norm, and perceived behavior control. When these three factors go up, the interest should go up too. The researchers also test the background factor determine after how strong this result, whether the students were exposed to a sustainable entrepreneur role model, and whether the student gender makes a difference. Based on this framework, the research built for hypothesis, which we will explain in the next slide.
This slide explains the result related to hypothesis for whether the education program works equally with for male and female students. The findings show that there is no significant difference between male and female students in their score for sustainable entrepreneurial intention, attitude, and perceived behavioral control. This was true both before and after the program. This is actually a positive finding because it means the education program helps both genders in a similar way without favoring one over the other. However, there is one exception for subjective norm. Female students score significantly higher than male students both before and after the intervention, although the effect size was small. This means female students feel a bit more social support or approval to become sustainable entrepreneurs compared to male students. Because most of the results were consistent across genders, but subjective norms showed a difference. Hypothesis 4 is only partially supported. Now that we have gone through all the results, let's talk about what these findings actually mean in practice.
Next, discussion and implication. This slide talk about what this result mean for real education and policy. First, The research suggests that sustainable entrepreneurship education should be brought into secondary school, even though the program was quite short, only 6 weeks. It already produced real and measurable improvement. This so that we do not have to wait until university to start teaching students about sustainable entrepreneurship. Second, some role models were sought to be helpful but not essential. Schools that do not have access to real entrepreneurs as mentors can still expect meaningful results just from the core curriculum itself. There, because most students saw a lower subjective compared to female students, the research suggests the future curricula could be designed to specifically provide more social support and encouragement for male students in this area. For the research highlight the importance of teacher training in this study. The program worked well because it was delivered by a teacher who had been special trained beforehand. This means that if we want to expand this kind of program to more schools, we also need to invest in preparing the teachers properly. Now, before we conclude, let's talk about some limitation of this study.
Okay, slide 11, limitations. Even though the results are promising, the study has some limitations that we need to mention. First, there was no follow-up assessment. This means the researchers only measured students right after the program ended. So we don't know whether the increase in intention will last over time, or whether it will actually turn into real entrepreneurial action in the future. Second, the researchers did not directly measure whether students' sustainability competence actually improved. So while we know the psychological outcomes change, like intention and attitude, we are not fully sure about the exact mechanism connecting the lesson content to these outcomes. And third, the sample was a confidence sample from southern Germany only. This means the result might not be the same if the study was done in a different country or culture, so we should be careful before generalizing these findings too broadly. And fourth, the researchers mentioned that it's difficult to compare this study with other similar programs because most exciting studies about sustainable entrepreneurship education don't describe their intervention in enough details. This makes it hard to benchmark or report the study elsewhere. And now let's move to our final slide, the conclusion.
To conclude our presentation, we want to summarize the main takeaways from this journal. This study shows that competence-based, sustainable entrepreneurship education really works even at the secondary school level. It significantly increases student sustainable entrepreneurial tendency along with their attitude, subjective norm, and passive behavioral control. Role models can add extra value to the program, but they are not required for it to be effective. Also, the effectiveness of the program are mostly the same for male and female students, except for one small difference in subjective norm. Overall, this journal suggests the sustainable entrepreneurship education deserves a place in secondary school curricula. By introducing this kind of education earlier, we can help build a generation of students who think about sustainable even before they officially enter the workforce. That concludes our presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope this video has helped you understand the journal better.